So I appreciate all the comments on the video yesterday about, you know, going into the skid steer game. And I've never even thought in my head, just for a couple of the comments, I've never even thought in my head that I would you know, not do lawn care and start doing just skid steer work. That would not be smart of me in my particular situation. My particular situation is, well, everything's built on the lawn care, the lawn maintenance, the 100 and so, give or take. More than that, really, because I got customers that call me for other stuff that ain't even part of the lawn care. But we'll say 100 customers, give or take, and that's how I've been getting a lot of work without advertising. All the skid steer work that I've been doing is based on well, somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows me, right? So that's how I get most of the skid steer work. But I've never, you know, one guy came in the comments and says, oh wait, you were arguing with that guy Paul, which we don't really know who he was, you know, I mean, you know, the Paul guy. Y'all guys that, y'all all know who he turned out to be. Some people got more time than others, I guess. That I was arguing with him about going into the skid steer game. Look, man, I've been thinking about going into the skid steer game since, well, probably 2012 or so, 13 or so, when I was on a job. And I've said this, told you guys this story before, when I was on a job cutting the grass for $60, and a guy with an old beat up skid steer was at the job at a house next door to me, and he was making $6,000. And that always registered with me ever since. So like I've said a million times, you don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to buy a skid steer. I guess you can, but I don't know if that's the most logical way to do it. If you're in business and you got to pay bills and your mortgage is due every month and all that. But just FYI to that guy that said all that, I was in the skid steer game before I even started doing YouTube. I mean, I had already bought, I didn't start doing YouTube till 2020. I bought the T190 in 2018. So that just kind of tells you where your thinking is. Well, you want to breathe something into something that ain't there to, there's nothing to really debate about. The facts are, I started doing skid steer work in 2018 when I bought my skid steer in November of 2018, December, something like that, in 2018. So I wasn't even doing YouTube videos at that point. So the first YouTube video I did, and I put it on my account. Now I did videos, but I didn't post anything to YouTube. I did videos for me, my family, and just to kind of, you know, doctor some things. But the first video I put on YouTube was way after I bought the skid steer. So for you to come in the comments and saying, oh wait, you were arguing about this guy and this guy, so this guy was right and all that. No, I was already in the skid steer game. That guy was trying to, the Paul guy, whoever he was telling me that I should stop doing the lawn care and do the skid steer game. Oh well, you know, that's never been my intention. I might vent sometimes about it, but the logistics of me doing that would be ignorant because of the customer base that I have. Why would I do that? That wouldn't be smart at all, dude. Now I think you know, but he was telling you, you need to go and do the skid steer. I was already in it, man. So there's that. I mean, why can't I do both? I mean, I know there's some simple-minded folks that can only do one, and there ain't nothing wrong with doing one or the other. There ain't nothing wrong with, you know, I could do the lawn care until I retire, and I'd be all right. You know, I don't think that I'd be making as much money as I make with the skid steer, but I'd be all right. You know, just doing the lawn maintenance. But to me, it just seems, you know, in the wintertime, well, you know, there ain't no grass to cut down here where I'm at. There ain't no snow to remove. There ain't none of that. So, and firewood is, well, firewood is, there's money in it, but there's a few things that got to fall in place for you. You gotta have, well, you gotta have access to the wood. I don't. You know, Chad over there at Green Acres, he does pretty good at the firewood. I can tell, because I know what a firewood setup looks like. If I did firewood for 8 years, and I made decent money at it, and I didn't make as much as I'm making the lawn maintenance, but I did all right for what I had in it. I bought the dump trailer with firewood money, but firewood is not something that you know, at 55 years old, that I was gonna keep doing. Now, if there was a huge demand for it, then I would go through my contacts and I would find some of the tree guys I know, and then I would get all the wood that they cut. But where am I gonna do it at? I don't have any space here to do it. You know, but you know, before I had the building, I used to use the space where the building is. But see, I can't do that no more because the building's there, and it makes such a big mess. And then it seemed like the climate changed for me, where there just wasn't a big demand for wood, and it's well, it's unpredictable, because you don't know what the weather's going to do. You know, and I don't like that, man. And you throw in the fact that I don't own any big land. I don't have a place to really process the firewood. I don't have any big land anywhere. I don't have a place to get the trees from, and I don't have any labor. So those are, I mean, so instead of me going in, you know, keep doing firewood, what I did is I bought a skid steer. That's what I did. And I really bought the skid steer and thinking, okay, I can do firewood now and I'd be all right. But then I found out after I got the skid steer that there's a lot more lucrative things that are a lot more lucrative for me to do than firewood. Because firewood is a business where I have to go and get the wood, right? I have to go and physically get the wood. And it takes a lot to make good money at it. I was selling to the stores too, and I don't know if Chad does that, but I was selling to the stores all around here, and I was selling them, you know, 100 bundles at a time for $3 a bundle or whatever. But I had to buy the plastic or the bags to put them in, and all of that became, you know, I don't know, just too costly for me. Now, if I did big tree work and stuff, it'd be different. And if I was going broke, and I didn't see me making money any other way, I guess I would reach out to some of the tree guys that I know and try to figure out how I can hook up with them and get wood. But in order for me to get enough wood, I need a skid steer to be able to pick up the trees and put them on a trailer. And then I mean, the logistics are crazy. Think about it like this. So for me to do firewood, I got to have a place to get the wood. Okay, say I got a place that's got the wood that I can go get, and it's but I can't process it there. They just got a yard where they got a bunch of trees that they, you know, whatever. And so I got to go down there. Oh, well, I got to take 2 trucks down there, because in order for me to load it, I need the skid steer. So now I got labor and another truck. And then I gotta and then I gotta bring it all back here, cut it into pieces, split it, let it season, and then sell it. It's a lot to it. And kudos to Chad for doing it, because you got a plan to do firewood. You don't just wake up one day and say, I think I'm gonna sell firewood this year. You got a plan for season to season. So any wood that I get this year, in theory, wouldn't be ready until next year. Now you can do a little bit of a mixing of seasoned wood and unseasoned wood, green, but you can't really mix it hardcore. Now, and when you're doing firewood, and Chad will probably attest to this, when you're doing firewood, you got to separate it. You got to separate, like if I have hickory wood, then I got to separate that from the oak, and then you got to separate that from the seasoned to the unseasoned. And so you could easily have 6-8 piles of firewood in different stages and different types of wood, because the hickory wood sells for more down here where I'm at. I used to sell wood to some of the barbecue places, but I ran out of hickory because I don't have no damn land nowhere. And then all the big properties that I used to do, not all of them, but some of the bigger properties that I used to do, where I had one property that was 450 acres. Now, it wasn't all grass, but me and the owner had made a deal that I could come to his property and you know, get trees that were down, and it was, you know, I never did get all of them. They were everywhere, and that was a part of our deal for me to do his lawn, his personal lawn space, which was still, you know, $300 a cut, but it was, you know, nothing like 450 acres. So I would do so our deal was he'd give me $600 a month to do the lawn, and I could get any down tree on the property. So that was the deal. That was the deal I negotiated with him back in the day when I was doing a lot of firewood. Well, fast forward, you know, he passed away, his wife passed away, and they sold the property. So there goes the firewood business. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is the firewood game is not as lucrative as the mowing game, and it's a lot more unpredictable. And for me, it was super unpredictable because I didn't know if I could get any. I didn't know if I could get any wood or not. So, if I wasn't doing big tree jobs, then I wasn't able to accumulate the wood. Now, as long as I was getting wood from the 450 acres, and then doing some trees work here and there, I could muster up, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 every winter. You know, firewood, $8,000 or whatever, you know. I think the most I ever made, and you know, I'm not bragging or nothing, or it might not be anything. The most I ever made was doing firewood in a season in sales. Now, I don't know what it actually cost me, but it cost me a lot of time. But in the wintertime, you got more time. But it's about $11,000. That's the most I ever made doing firewood. The first thing I started doing when the firewood game, when I saw that I wasn't going to be able to sustain doing firewood every year, is I bought a Rayco stump grinder, one you walk beside. It was a commercial stump grinder, and you stood there, and it did okay. It was a Super Junior. It's in one of the first videos I did on YouTube. That was my experience with a stump grinder, and I realized, you know, after I got my money back, which is always the number one thing I think about, after I got my $7,000 back that I spent on the stump grinder, and I bought a skid steer, then I quit using that stump grinder because it was so small that any stump that I was willing to take on with that stump grinder and make money at it, the skid steer could dig it out just as quick. So, and a lot easier, you know, so the Bobcat could. So anyway, that's, so I've been I mean, contrary to what some of the commenters, I mean, it seems like some people watch the videos and they derive what they wanted to derive. Now, I remember me and that dude going back and forth about, you know, lawn care and skid steer work and all that. But there's no way that someone in the comments, whether they're experienced or not experienced, can tell somebody else that's doing what I'm doing out here and tell them when is the appropriate time to do this and do that, because I'm a money maker and I got to make money every day. And not got to, but I want to make money every day because it costs something to live every day. And there's no way that somebody in the comments can tell me what my financial stat is and when's the best time to pull the trigger on this or that. Because, well, I know the business. I know the ebbs and flows. I didn't just start doing this last week. So I know how things go. I know what the finances does every year, and I know how all that works. I see it. I got software that keeps up with everything. Y'all act like I'm, you know, these haters, man, they act like I'm sitting here with a freaking, with a pencil writing everything down. Nothing wrong with that. I did that for years, but I didn't want to keep spending my time like that. I wanted to be able to spend my time doing other stuff. So making more money. So software keeps up with it. I got graphs and flow charts and everything that shows me, and I got consistent history. Because again, I've been in business a long time, and I got software after about 3 years of being in business. So the last 15 years, I got software that shows me the ebbs and the flows of what I did last year, the year before, the year before, the year before. So I can look at the numbers and I can see, okay, last September I made, you know, $15,000, give or take. That we'll just say that. It's not, I don't know, I have to go look if I, you know, but, and then this September I made $14,500. That's okay. But then in October I might have made, you know, $10,000. And then this year I made 12. You know, and you know, well, when you're in business and you're as in tune with it as I am, and you know, you don't have any labor or you don't have any, you know, anything going on around you, it's just you and the business for the most part, then you know, you understand exactly what where you were at last year and where you need to get to this year. And of course, all those ebbs and flow charts are predicated on the expenses as well. So yeah, so for you to come in the comments, make a long story longer, for you to come in the comments and say, well, he was telling you to do that 2 years ago. Well, no, he wasn't. And I don't even know what video you're talking about. No, I mean, before I started doing YouTube, I was already doing skid steer work. And these are facts. This is not, look at the very first video I got, where it's called, I'll put it at the end of this video. The very first video that I did introducing myself shows all the tools and the setup, and it shows the Bobcat, the T190. It shows the area up here where the building is, that was just a big mess. But I had a dump trailer and I had the Bobcat T190 before I ever started doing YouTube videos. So I was already had a foot in the skid steer game way before YouTube. So, so check yourself.